God says, "Listen closely, my beloved soul, because this moment was not placed in front of you by chance, and these words did not find you randomly. Something within you paused when you saw this, even if you cannot fully explain why, and that pause matters. It is the quiet space where truth enters gently, without fear, without pressure, simply asking you to be present. Right now, your life is standing at a delicate intersection where emotions, timing, and purpose are quietly aligning, and this message arrives to help you recognize what your heart has already been sensing. There is a person connected to your life in a deeper way than you may realize, not through coincidence, not through convenience, but through alignment. This does not mean perfection, and it does not mean ease, but it does mean significance. Some connections arrive to teach, some to heal, and some to walk beside you as you become more of who you were meant to be. The one being spoken of here is not random, and the reason you feel confusion, curiosity, or even resistance when you think of them is because your spirit recognizes that this connection carries weight. You may have tried to rationalize this away before, telling yourself that timing was off, that circumstances were complicated, or that it was better not to think too deeply about it. Yet certain thoughts return no matter how busy you keep yourself. Certain names cross your mind without invitation. Certain moments replay quietly, not to disturb you, but to remind you that unfinished understanding still exists. This is not obsession, this is awareness slowly waking up. Love that is meant to shape your future does not always announce itself loudly. Often, it begins as a subtle pull, a sense of familiarity that feels older than the moment itself. You may feel seen by this person in ways others never quite managed. Or you may feel challenged by them, not because they hurt you, but because they reflect parts of yourself you are still learning to accept. Growth-oriented connections often feel uncomfortable before they feel safe. What matters now is not rushing to conclusions, but allowing clarity to unfold naturally. You are not being asked to chase, force, or cling. You are being invited to observe, to listen, and to trust your discernment. The heart becomes confused only when the mind tries to control outcomes too quickly. When you slow down, truth becomes clearer without effort. This message does not promise fantasy or instant certainty. It offers something far more valuable: alignment. Alignment between who you are becoming and who is meant to walk with you in that becoming. When alignment exists, peace eventually follows, even if the path toward it is not straight. As you continue listening, remain open but grounded. Do not search for shock, search for recognition. What is meant for you will not need to shout. It will feel steady, honest, and quietly undeniable. This is only the beginning of the understanding unfolding, and the clarity you seek will come step by step, not all at once. Stay present, because what follows is meant to be received calmly, not rushed. As this message continues, allow yourself to stay relaxed and open, because what is unfolding now is not meant to confuse you, but to gently organize what has already been moving inside your heart. Many times, clarity does not arrive as a sudden answer, it arrives as a quiet understanding that settles when you stop resisting what you feel. You may notice that certain emotions connected to this person have never fully disappeared, even when you try to distance yourself or focus elsewhere. That persistence is not accidental. It is a sign that the connection is tied to growth, not distraction. You may have wondered why this person keeps returning to your thoughts during moments of calm rather than chaos. That is important. Meaningful connections surface when the mind is quiet enough to listen. They are not driven by urgency or fear, but by recognition. Something about this person mirrors a version of yourself that you are still becoming. That mirror can feel unsettling at first, because it reveals truths you may not have been ready to face before. But mirrors are not meant to judge, they are meant to help you see clearly. This connection is not about dependency or losing yourself. It is about alignment. Alignment means your values, intentions, and direction begin to resonate with another person's presence. When alignment exists, growth feels possible rather than draining. Even challenges become constructive instead of destructive. You may have noticed that interactions with this person stir reflection rather than emptiness. That is one of the quiet signs of purpose within a connection. It is also important to release the idea that meaningful connections must follow a perfect timeline. Timing often unfolds differently than expectation. Delays are not denials, they are preparation. Sometimes distance exists so clarity can develop. Sometimes silence exists so intention can mature. You are not late, and neither is this connection. Everything is unfolding at a pace that protects both hearts involved. Notice how your intuition has been guiding you lately. You may feel less reactive and more observant when it comes to this person. That shift matters. Observation creates understanding. Understanding creates peace. Peace allows you to choose wisely rather than emotionally. You are learning how to recognize what is real instead of what is momentary. This message is not asking you to make a decision right now. It is asking you to trust the process of awareness. Awareness removes confusion naturally. When the right moment comes, clarity will not feel dramatic. It will feel calm, obvious, and steady. That is how alignment speaks. Stay present as this message continues. There is more unfolding, and it will meet you gently, not abruptly. What is meant to be revealed will surface in a way that respects your heart and honors the growth you have already achieved. As this message moves deeper, something important is being clarified within you, even if it is happening quietly. You are beginning to understand that real connections are not always loud or dramatic. They often grow in silence, in reflection, in moments when you are honest with yourself about what you truly want and what no longer feels aligned. This understanding is forming now because you are ready to receive it without fear. There may have been a time when you questioned why this person entered your life at all. You may have thought they came to distract you, confuse you, or slow you down. But now you can begin to see that their presence was never meant to derail you. It was meant to reveal something about you. Certain people arrive not to complete us, but to awaken us. They reflect back the parts of ourselves we have been ignoring, avoiding, or underestimating. That reflection can feel uncomfortable before it feels meaningful. You might notice that this person has a way of drawing out your honesty. Around them, pretending feels exhausting. You are more aware of your emotions, your boundaries, your values. That awareness is not accidental. It is growth. When a connection encourages you to become more truthful with yourself, it is serving a purpose deeper than attraction or familiarity. It is helping you align with who you are becoming. This is also why confusion may have appeared earlier. Growth-oriented connections often challenge old patterns. They question what you once accepted without thought. They ask you to slow down, to reflect, to choose consciously instead of habitually. When that happens, the mind resists before the heart understands. Resistance is not a sign to walk away, it is a sign to look closer. You are not being asked to ignore logic or abandon discernment. In fact, discernment is becoming stronger within you now. You are learning the difference between emotional attachment and genuine alignment. Attachment pulls you into urgency. Alignment invites patience. Attachment drains you. Alignment steadies you. Pay attention to how you feel after reflecting on this person calmly, without expectations. That feeling tells you more than overthinking ever could. This part of the message is reminding you to trust the pace at which clarity is arriving. You do not need answers today. You need honesty with yourself. When honesty is present, answers arrive naturally. The heart does not rush what the soul is still unfolding. Stay grounded as you continue. What is forming now is not pressure to act, but permission to understand. And understanding is what leads you to choices that feel peaceful, respectful, and true to who you are becoming. As this message reaches its final flow, allow everything you felt so far to settle naturally, without forcing conclusions or rushing yourself toward answers. What matters most now is not the name, not the timing, and not the outcome, but the clarity that has been forming quietly within you. Clarity does not demand attention. It brings peace. And if you notice a calm certainty beginning to replace confusion, that is a sign you are listening correctly. There is a difference between wanting something to happen and being ready for it to happen. Readiness is calm. Readiness does not chase. It does not fear loss. It trusts alignment. You are stepping into that readiness now. You are learning to recognize connections that add depth instead of noise, honesty instead of illusion, and growth instead of distraction. When a connection is meant to walk with you, it does not pull you away from yourself. It brings you closer to who you truly are. You may realize that what once felt confusing about this person now feels more understandable. Not necessarily easy, but clear. Clarity does not mean there will be no challenges. It means challenges will feel purposeful rather than draining. Purposeful connections teach patience, communication, and mutual respect. They do not demand that you abandon your values or silence your intuition. Instead, they invite you to honor both. It is also important to let go of fear-based expectations. Real alignment does not rely on shock or surprise to prove its worth. It reveals itself through consistency, mutual understanding, and shared direction. The more you remain grounded, the easier it becomes to recognize what truly belongs in your life. When something is right, you do not feel the need to convince yourself. You simply know. As you move forward from this message, carry this awareness gently. Observe how you feel when you choose patience over urgency. Notice how your inner dialogue becomes kinder when you trust your discernment. You are not being pushed toward a decision, you are being supported toward understanding. And understanding always leads to wiser choices. Let this message close with reassurance rather than anticipation. You are not missing anything. You are aligning with what is meant to stay. When the right moment arrives, it will feel natural, not forced. Until then, remain present, honest, and calm. That state of being is already preparing you for what comes. Next. If this message felt like it was speaking directly to you, type Amen in the comments as a personal confirmation. Please like, subscribe, and share this message with someone who may need clarity today, and remember, this message reached you because your heart was ready to receive it.